The power of true transformation lies in the moment you stop lying to yourself. Most people spend their lives searching for answers about themselves. They hope that one day everything will fall into place. After decades of research into consciousness, people, and inner processes, one clear truth emerges. You only need to know a few basic principles and follow them consistently. Everything that works in your life follows certain laws. Your inner stability, your relationships, your personal development. If you understand these principles and align yourself with them, you will create predictable fulfillment. If you overlook them, you will steer yourself into foreseeable stagnation. The reality of your consciousness is not interested in your desires, illusions, or self-image. It functions according to clear patterns, according to evolutionary factors that existed long before you were born, and they will continue to exist long after you are gone. Most people make decisions based on what they want to believe. They construct stories in their heads to justify themselves. They filter out anything that threatens their comfort zone. This is definitely not how transformation works. Many experience intense moments of clarity. They assume that this has already completely changed them. Insight alone is far from real transformation. It merely opens the door to change. True realization manifests itself as an ongoing process of constant development. The mind will pretend that a certain amount of progress is already the final state. The moment you believe you have arrived, stagnation begins. The desire to be done with inner work stems from the need for security and stability. Consciousness prefers continuous adaptation. It prefers deepening and expansion to static states. When was the last time you thought you had completely understood something? Later, you will realize that even deeper levels await you. An often overlooked phenomenon manifests itself in retained pain. As undesirable as suffering may seem on a conscious level, it often conveys a sense of identity, of significance, even of confirmation. Pain often fulfills a subconscious psychological function. Someone who has been betrayed may hold on to the pain. This pain reinforces the belief that they must protect themselves permanently. This leads to a paradox. People consciously desire healing. At the same time, the subconscious clings to the pain, for fear of losing the seemingly protective mechanism along with it. The subconscious finds security in the familiar, even if that familiarity is associated with pain. The fear of who you might be without your wounds is deeply rooted. When pain has shaped your identity for years, letting go will feel like a loss of your own personality. People often say that this experience has made me who I am. However, holding on to pain does not honor the past in any way. It merely chains you further to it. True transformation means recognizing that you are much more than your wounds. Letting go may feel like erasing part of your history. In truth, it is an act of self-liberation. Your experiences will remain part of your journey. However, from now on, you must stop determining where you are headed. The only thing you will lose by letting go is the suffering that will never serve you again anyway. Many seekers behave like collectors of spiritual experiences. They are constantly chasing the next thrill, the next mystical experience, the next external confirmation. However, they do not allow for any real, deep inner change. As with any other addiction, this is about avoidance rather than genuine transformation. This form of seeking avoids taking full responsibility for one's own growth. Instead, you will constantly look for external aids, for teachers, workshops, or books, to take a supposed shortcut. Instead of consciously shaping their own lives, many look for reasons for their weakness or helplessness. This creates a cycle of dependency. You remain dependent on the understanding and confirmation of others. The goal is never to free yourself, but to be seen in your own suffering. This collective mentality means that you will remain in a permanent state of searching. Those affected confuse the euphoria of a new concept with actual inner growth. They hope for someone to take responsibility away from them, instead of actively taking responsibility themselves. They justify their inaction with external circumstances, with past hurts and perceived injustice. Real transformation will require more than mere understanding. It requires consistent action. The mind constantly seeks external validation. No external source will ever be able to permanently resolve your insecurity. This clarity comes exclusively from within, through your own experimentation, through experience, through repeated testing and practice. True understanding will never be given to you. You will only discover it through direct experience. No one can do the inner work for you. Teachers, books, and experiences provide inspiration, but true transformation remains a deeply personal process. The moment you realize that your life is a reflection of your decisions, you will cease to play the victim. You will activate your inner strength. As long as you wait for something to change on the outside, you are avoiding responsibility. As long as you wait for someone to save you, you are avoiding the responsibility that only you can take on. This is exactly where true growth will begin, in the decision to actively walk your own path, instead of passively enduring it. Real change will challenge established patterns. These are based on familiarity and control. Old structures resist profound transformation. They experience every change as a threat to their familiar identity. This is precisely why you will often find fundamental change difficult, sometimes even painful. This is because old patterns will desperately cling to the familiar reality. Transformation itself is never painful. To evolve, you must be willing to endure temporary discomfort. This inner resistance is simply part of letting go of limiting templates. Many people constantly gather new knowledge. However, they never apply it. It feels safer to accumulate insights than to put them into practice and possibly fail. True transformation is never about knowing what to do. It is exclusively about actually doing it. The only way to change something permanently is to make consistent decisions. Decisions that are in line with the reality you want for your life. One of the biggest stumbling blocks to real transformation is the difference between real change and just pretending. Many people adopt new behaviors, new language. Both are supposed to symbolize change, but deep down, they remain stuck in the same limiting patterns. It's tempting to make change visible to the outside world, to talk about your own growth, to surround yourself with people who support this image. A transformation that only takes place externally will immediately fall apart as soon as life presents real challenges. When change has actually taken place, you don't need to emphasize or show it off. It will reveal itself through your charisma and your everyday actions. Many spiritual seekers change their external world through rituals, through language, through new communities. However, their inner foundation remains untouched. It is precisely this inner foundation that controls perceptions, feelings, and actions. This illusion is seductive. It provides quick validation without the demanding, deep inner work. Real transformation will require you to be honest with yourself, to have the courage to let go of old identifications, instead of merely taking on a new role. A clear sign of superficial change is when new habits or practices are adopted without being truly anchored internally. Those who meditate daily but continue to remain in old patterns use the practice to maintain a spiritual self-image, never for development. A reliable indicator of genuine transformation is how much external validation it requires. True transformation is quiet, it is intimate, it is independent of the recognition of others. Those who constantly seek approval show that the change still depends on external validation. The ultimate test will be revealed in behavior under pressure. Many adopt new beliefs as long as life is calm. In moments of stress or conflict, the true patterns will emerge. Real change never shows itself when everything is easy. It shows itself when things get tough. Transformation never means being perfect. It means remaining conscious and clear in critical moments. Real transformation doesn't need an audience. It shows itself in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in the way you react when there is nothing to prove. Growth never means accumulating new knowledge. It means facing uncomfortable truths about yourself. An unmistakable sign of real transformation is quiet growth, without the need for recognition. The deepest changes will happen in secret. They arise in quiet moments of insight, in decisions you make for yourself. Only when you no longer need spectators will true change begin. Genuine transformation never means becoming someone new. It means letting go of everything you never really were. It is not a process of adding. It is a process of letting go, a return to what has always been within you. Before it was covered up by roles and false images. Many believe that understanding alone brings about change. However, real transformation only comes about through consistent action. Integration means consciously repeating new behaviors until they become second nature. There is a deep gap between knowledge and lived experience. Those who only understand have taken the first step. Those who live what they have learned will walk the path of true change. The key is that you will begin to act, even if it still feels unnatural. Change will only become real when it leaves the realm of theory, when it is put into practice. Real change is not an idea, it is a practice. The most lasting changes are never those that seem dramatic at first. They are those that will endure over time. Waiting for readiness is an illusion. True realization will begin exactly where you are today, with the next small step toward what you already know, deep down inside. The power of real transformation lies in where you stop lying to yourself. It lies in the quiet decision to take the uncomfortable path, in the willingness to accept temporary discomfort for lasting growth. Your future will be decided in this moment, in the choice between comfort and realization, between stagnation and real transformation.